welcome. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm happy to have you here. I'm Lindsay Van Dungen. I am a physical therapist for the last 10 years. And I've been in the fitness industry as a Pilates instructor, fitness instructor for the last 2 decades. We are here for hip mobility class or unlock your hips. So that is going to be the main focus of our class today. We will be using 2 yoga blocks for class today to help with and address some hip mobility. So have those nearby. Okay. I have one rule in my class, and that is that you listen to your body. Not everything is made for everyone, not every position or every exercise. So please feel free to choose a modification if I'm offering one. Stick with an exercise that does feel good for you. Even though I may be moving on, use this space to incorporate an exercise that you're familiar with and does feel good for your body. Or you can watch, listen, learn, and take this class later on since it's recorded, if you so wish. Okay. I will stick around at the end of class today as well as if anyone has any questions you want to hang out. Okay. So without further ado, let's get started. We are going to go down onto our backs first. So if you just joined, we're not going to use the yoga blocks right away. We're going to start with a little bit of a warm up, get the fluids moving through our joint spaces here. So we're going to come down onto our backs. Okay. And I want you to bend those knees, bring the feet flat to the mat, and widen those feet. So take them, if you have a mat, we're going to take them to the outer edges of the mat. Okay. We're going to try to keep your lower back down on the mat for this exercise. Okay. I want you to take both knees over towards the right side of the mat. So we roll to the outside of the right foot, inside of the left foot. And then bring them back to the center and take them over to the left. So as you can see, as my legs go over to the left, try to keep that lower back. We're trying not to lift it and pop it off. Okay. And then back to the center. Nice and slow and controlled over to the right side. Take your time. Explore the range of motion today. Okay. See where you might get a little sticky when you're in your hip joints. Feel free to spend a little bit extra time there. Okay. Also feel free to take it slow. Start with a smaller motion. See how big it can go as you go over some repetitions. Okay. That often is very helpful, starting a little bit smaller, especially if you're dealing with any type of pain. Okay. Definitely start small and grow as you can tolerate, if you can tolerate. Okay. Over to the left. We're going to go one more over to the right and one more over to the left. Okay. Beautiful. All right. Bring them back to the center. Walk those feet back in. Okay. We're going to take the right ankle, cross it over the left knee. Okay. You can take those arms out into a T position. You're going to, with that right ankle, so it's on the outside of the left knee, you're going to pull that left knee down just a little bit. Okay, again, keeping that lower back on the ground as best as you can, as far as you can control and you can tolerate. Bring it back to the center. We're gonna stay on this side, and we're gonna go again. Bring it over. You might feel a little stretch through the side of your torso a little bit here too. Let's do 3 more over here. Two more. And one more. Perfect. Good. We're going to switch sides here. So we're going to bring that right ankle down. We're going to take the left ankle over to the outside of the right knee. Okay. You can walk that ankle, that foot a little bit closer to the edge of the mat for a little bit deeper range if you're comfortable and you're looking for it. And you're going to bring that knee down. Okay. Using the weight of that ankle as a little bit of a leverage there for some stretch. And then bring it back up. We go for 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. We go for 1 more. Beautiful. Very good. Okay. Go ahead. Uncross those ankles. We're going to come onto our side, press ourselves up. Okay. And we are going to come onto our hands and knees. Okay. So, no yoga blocks yet. We're going to get there soon, I promise. All right. Right after this one. Okay. So hands and knees right under hips, wrists right under shoulders. We're going to start on the left side. You're going to lift the left knee off of the mat. You're going to drive it up towards your left elbow. Okay. Open it out to the side. Lift that knee out to the side. Wrap it around till your thigh is parallel with the ground. And you're putting that footprint on the ceiling. And then bring it back down to meet the other knee. We're going to reverse that now. We take the foot, we plant the footprint up on the ceiling. We wrap it around, turn that knee to point out to the side, bring it around, and then bring it back down to meet the other knee. So this is a very slow, really focus on being controlled with this motion. Take your time. How much of that hip joint can you explore? Okay, so we bring the knee up towards the left elbow. We open it out to the side. Wrap it around till that thigh is parallel with the floor. Putting that footprint on the ceiling and then bring it back down. Goal here is to reduce the movement happening through the lower back. Try to make all of the motion or most of it happen through the hip. Okay, so we can definitely get a little twisty-turvy through our lower back. Make that motion a little bit smaller than if you need to, okay? Versus if we're getting way out here and you're twisting and you're turning and you're collapsing on that arm, I'd rather make it a little bit smaller and really isolate the movement to the hip, okay? Wrap around. Bring it back down. And then we plant it on the ceiling, bring it around and back. One more on this side. Open it up, put it around, bring it down, and then reverse it. Bring it up towards the sky and back down. Good. Perfect time to, in my class, use your camera if you feel comfortable. Turn your camera on. Not that necessarily I have to be watching you, but it's also helpful to watch ourselves. Okay. I often encourage clients to turn their Zoom on, get in front of a mirror, see what your body is doing. So let's do this right side. We bring the knee up. We open up to the side. We wrap it around and we bring it back down. And then we put that footprint on the ceiling. Turn that knee out, bring it around. Good. And you might find that your body is doing something different than what you might be feeling. And that can go in either direction. It can be doing more than what you think it's doing, or it can be doing less. Okay. But that's why it's so helpful to have that visual feedback from a camera or a mirror. Especially if you don't have someone there to tell you, oh, you're doing more at your back and less at your hip, or vice versa. But let's go one more after this one, all the way through and back. Very good. Perfect. All right, let's grab those yoga blocks. Okay. And so with yoga blocks, we have the different heights depending on how you're going to position it. Okay. Let's start with it up as far on the highest position as we can. Okay. So we're going to put the left leg forward and the right knee down. So we're down on our right leg. Our left knee is bent and foot flat out in front of us. And we're going to take those yoga blocks and we're going to frame the left shin or the front shin. Okay. We're going to come down onto those yoga blocks. Okay. With your hands. Sit the hips back. Straighten out that front knee as far as you can. Okay. Come up. Press the hips forward. Kind of tuck the tail underneath you. Okay. So you're going to pull to the front of your hip. Keep those hands on the yoga block. Sit the hips back. What can you use in place of a yoga block? Okay, so you only have one yoga block. If you're using one yoga block, put it on the inside here, okay? With some of the other ones, I'll talk about what you can do without or with a yoga block, but some different things. You can use a foam roller, if you have two foam rollers, or some things that you can use, chairs. I've had people use some rolling sticks, okay? You can use those as well. Come on up. Press the hips forward. Reach them back. Good. We go one more on this side. Up nice and tall. Good. Okay. Drop that knee. We're going to bring the right knee in and up. Okay. We're going to frame that front shin. If you're too far forward when you go to sit your hips back, those yoga blocks are going to round you forward if you're too far out. Try to bring them back maybe towards your heel, okay? Because we want to keep that nice tall position of your spine, okay? Just a little tip there, okay? Go ahead, up nice and tall. Let's sit the hips back, straighten that front leg. Getting that pulled on the back of the front leg, okay? Press yourself up. Tuck the hips, press the hips forward, get that stretch through the front of the hip. Okay, good. Then we go ahead and we sit them back again. Straighten that front leg, chest stays lifted, okay? So if you need to bring those yoga blocks back to help you keep that chest lifted, okay? Come on up, press the hips forward. Sit the hips back. Good, one more, all the way up. And all the way back. Perfect, good. All right, we're gonna use one yoga block now. You can set the other off to the side. And I want you to take it in its second position or third position, right between your knees. So you're gonna hold on to that yoga block right between your knees, okay? To help maintain a nice neutral position of your hips, okay? So it'll allow you to keep your knees kind of right under your hips here, okay? For any reason you need to change it, you can turn it so it's a little bit more narrow, okay? Depending on level of comfort. But if you can, take it in this widest position right between your knees, okay? Now, we're gonna give that yoga block a little bit of a squeeze between your knees. We're gonna go the right leg first. Your pivot point is your knee. I want you to turn your right foot out to the side and then back to the center. Out to the side, back to the center. Okay? Out and in. Almost kind of like a windshield wiper here. Okay? But we're pivoting on that knee. The foot is lifted or just grazing the floor. Okay? In and out. So we're working on some hip rotation, some internal rotation here. that block minimizes how much the knee is gonna, and the thigh is gonna start to compensate here, okay, or the opposite side too. All right, so give us a little bit of resistance and really get some pure rotation of the hip. 2 more on this side. And 1 more. Great, let's do it on the other side. We go for 8, 7. I'm gonna turn to the other side just so this working leg is on the outside. You can see that. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Great. Go ahead. Take the yoga block. We're going to take a brief pause from the yoga blocks, okay, and set that off to the side. So this time, we're coming back onto our hands and knees. We're going to turn both feet out, okay? So if you're lengthwise of your yoga mat, we're going to take those feet towards the outside edges, but the knees are going to stay where they are, okay? So we're going to take this nice and slow, nice and easy. I want you to slowly sit your hips back a little bit and then come back out of that, okay? So similar motion to how we might do a child's pose position if you're familiar, okay? But if you notice in child's pose, those knees are a little bit wider, okay? We're gonna keep those knees in a little bit so the motion is a little more restricted. You don't feel like you're going to go as far, and that's because we're working this internal rotation a little bit. We don't want to go to the point of any pain or discomfort. Okay, nice and slow, nice and easy. And that's why it's slow too. We don't want to kind of shift back too quickly. Just to avoid any discomfort there. Okay. Great, keeping that back as flat as you comfortably can. Okay, good, excellent. Let's go into child's pose for just a moment. So widen those knees a little bit. Sit the hips back. We'll do 5 here. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. Perfect. Good. All right. Grab those yoga blocks again. We're going to take them out in front of us on either side of the mat. Tallest position if you can, okay, to start. Okay. We're going to take those hands to the blocks. We're on our knees. Okay. I want you to drive your right knee forward. Okay. So now we're in this lunge position. Our hands are on the block. That foot is in between the 2 blocks, closest to the right one. Okay. Keep your right hand down on the yoga block. Take your left hand open up, twist to the left. Bring it back down. Step that right foot back. We switch, we go to the left side. Drive that left leg through. Okay. We're down on that right knee. Relax the back toes. Keep the left hand down on the block. Open up to the right side. And then back down. We step back. And we drive through. We open up. Okay. So I'm going to demonstrate a progression on the next one. You can stay here if you'd like. Progression is you come up onto your toes. We're going to drive that foot forward. Okay. We stay up on the back toes. We keep the left hand on and we open up to the right. Get a little bit of a deeper stretch through the front of that right hip and back. Then we step back. Little wobbly here with the yoga block. So be careful here and open up. Okay. If you choose, you can go a little bit lower. The lower your hands get down into the floor. Okay. Deeper of a stretch. So taller position of the yoga block, a little bit easier. The lower you go, the harder. Okay. So Choose what works best for you. We step back. Open up. Step back. Good. One more each side. Again, you can always take it down, that back knee down too. Relax those toes. Choose what feels best for you. Fantastic. Good. Go ahead and step that back. Lower both knees down. We're going to take these off to the side. Okay. And we're going to come down onto our bottoms and we're going to get into the 90-90 position. You can have these nearby for assistance if you need to for this next stretch, okay? They're not required, but you can have them. So front hip and knee 90 degrees, back knee and hip 90 degrees. So if you're sitting on a yoga mat, that front shin lines up with the front edge of your mat, the back shin lines up with the end of your mat, okay? You can take arms out straight and lean over that front leg. Come back. Little bit of a twist to the left. Come back. Lean over. Up to the center. And little bit of a twist to the left if you'd like. You can just go with that leaning if you'd like. Okay? Good. Yoga blocks if you need to. You can have them down in front of you. Frame the front of your body for some assistance. Okay? Good. One more here. Beautiful. Let's switch to the other side. So we're going to bring that left leg forward. Okay. We can also use the yoga blocks here. The goal is to have ourselves seated on both sit bones. If you need to, you can take one and kind of sit yourself up. Give yourself some support if you're finding that one sit bone is elevated more than another. Okay, kind of give you some leveling out here. Okay. Line those shins up with either end of the mat. And we come forward and back, adding that twist if you'd like. Good. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. Fantastic. Good. All right. Take that yoga block out if you need, if you got that under your hip bone. You can always, instead of a yoga block there too, you can always use a pillow, towel roll, give yourself a little bit of support. Okay. Next, a little bit of a quad stretch. So we're going to take one yoga block behind us. And I want you to put your back knee on it. Okay. And then your front knee is forward. Okay. So we'll start with one. I'll also demonstrate with multiple. Okay. But we're going to get up nice and tall here as best as you can. Your back toes are off of the yoga block. Can you bend those toes up and down? Go into a little bit of a stretch or back it up as much as you need to. Okay. Bring those toes up. Getting a little bit of that active stretch of the front of the hip, front of the thigh, front of the hip. Okay. Good. Great job. One more. Perfect. Good. Demonstrate with a little bit more depth if you need to. Okay. So we put that back leg down. You can also come up a little bit taller into this taller position. Okay. Bend and lower. Okay. We go for 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. Great. Last one here. Okay. We're going to come up actually into the standing position. Okay. We're going to take those yoga blocks in their tallest position first. Okay. We're going to place our hands down on the yoga block. Okay. Toes are forward, knees are bent, hips are back. Okay. We're going to use these to help us stretch our hamstrings a little bit. So I want you to press your knees straight back as far as you can, keeping that back nice and flat, and then bend the knees. Go ahead, press the back of the knees straight back and bend the knees. Okay, so back is staying flat. We're not rounding up through the spine here. Okay, some folks might need to bring these up a little bit higher. If you need to put them on like a bottom step or on a step stool or something like that for that height, if you really have some hamstring tightness. Okay, come up and back. Keep your chest still. We're looking right down in between those blocks. 2 more. And 1 more. Beautiful. Good. Now, can you do one leg at a time and switch right, left, right, left, right? Some folks might be able to get a little bit lower. You can maybe get those blocks down a little bit more. That's okay too. Whatever works best for you. 1 more left. 1 more right. Bend both knees. Press yourself up. Standing up nice and slow. Straighten out those knees. Bring those arms up over your head. Inhale. Exhale those arms back down. Fantastic.